Ujra one side and wait you meraze.
Zeozo meraze.
Eda dia.
Ujina meni so na oje dai me bra.
Ne nyina ye hufi.
Wesi broni ba ha na be ma na kwaba.
Wenye mu die ni bia.
De bi da.
Se kutu.
Se bam.
Obeya.
No ne ade no. Be ya obe ye nyame na hwe nipa.
Akosika.
Entoprot. Ensidan.
Ewusia fo asem abare de doso papa na dia edimu akwetini bi ene say Excellency John Dramani Mahama osia bi before yenkeka ye ho ne nya ase de ho ato abrofo ne so
ene dai na amrahye bedwam chia me hene ora urban soma na Kingsford Backbenton and Safra mahye bedwafie say ye dai na mpanifo entenase
aban so ani abre papa etu wan a wodi enubone ho dwa esosa ewo omanmu
MPP amanyoko ni mpanimfo aboto eda wonu mani mu no aba beto dwa se wonu mu a akọ file for nomination no be se aduonum
Ensampi ka we ne ho ne yede ba besom don hwe ba ko ye ne wona etina na kase bo no nwumekuo bi na epia yen KASE3 Ghana Limited wadaroma opasase sidan amansu ne ho enkrata sen bibia dimo no KAS na wo so du ani ekire frinkran kositamale ye wonsa se wo man no afanan ba bia ne bo no so da fom se team etufo nsa no de atia ne se woni sika wutwa ne buma KAS nkwa ne ma wakwenya ma utwa ne kakran no meba ho so na so da ne asase wura ye boya mra ne se yenti wonso obetimi esidan one KAS mpanyufo nkasa ewo 0302963740 0302963740 na one KASE3 Ghana Limited enin komakelele no won maka no so e kan ye kwa ni me de won be hyehyem enkakran amma apafo no eye me Ejamintamene.
Motofa bohima abina foku yeboa yejihini ewa abe fontente Afrika sene so intro ne introda so P3P ene ne mpatrapa eso Facebook reso eye mothers 102.7 Accra udu ha French ni bese ende trowa ene mano miensa pe like wa share na wa commenti ensem ni ntremu enie
Mothers FM yes sompa
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Semtrokwe from TRT World Edi Enkomo ni nyina no efa ebibrem kakra afa manyasem kakra ni nyina no ya de efra fraye na His Excellency KASE United Nations Security Council no ebre ewie drise ebibrem ye benya representatives bebre na so efisa wo kwa Russia so permanent member China US UK ne omo maka ne do mte so afebo afi amaya hodo na aka ne rotate ene we kwaso no china we abaso ne kokoba se ebibrem yenya aman be miensa enan a omugina so pampe a eno so betimi aboa ama nkomo ahodo a efa ne bambo ho nsem na se ye kan ebibrem yenso ye betimi akabi ne sawe ne bema yenso ye bambo ho nsem etimi gina abrane.
Well, not only Africa, because the push for greater representation is the global south. And so it's not only Africa. But again, like on the issues of reparations, what I told you, we're speaking from different hymn sheets. Everybody is making his pitch from their own hymn sheet. In Africa, we went and passed the consensus. They call the Zuni consensus. And we said that we wanted the global reform of the United Nations to involve expanding the Security Council and allowing greater African representation, and then at the same time either removal of the veto or extension of the veto to cover the expanded membership. Now, the point I've made, and I've made it before and I'll make it again, is that we need a two-step solution. And so we should speak with one voice and ask for an expansion of the Security Council. Once we expand the Security Council and we have better representation of the Security Council, then we can discuss the veto. But of course, the countries that have the veto are not going to even consider reform of the Security Council when even before you've expanded the membership, you're asking for, a determination of what happens to the veto. And we need to speak with one voice.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na yetene nkano enwachi ana waka se ebibremu no yamanya ho kwan ma brofo ne di enso a fiti titintiri di breso a de babesi sa mpempen so kane no na eyokon na yese kantwe na yetuo se so broni fetuo ntata obi abiem ordinary dwen na ADD ho so no na Dr. Kwame Nkrumah man penye odi kan ehuye nti o ka se bibrem yenka ehu bomu na kotoka general no madaroma omutuo no ene ye nyina na yi a yetiti hei.
Indeed, Kwame Nkrumah is a visionary par excellence. I mean, he could see far into the future. There were two things he was concerned about. one African unity and integration. We're confronted with the same challenges today. And I regret that at the time, our forebears in Africa did not see into his vision and then create a much bigger union than we currently are. Now we're 54 countries, each with its own flag, its own national anthem, its own economy, its own central bank, its own currency, everything. So that's the first we get. The second is that he said, now that we've finished the liberation struggle, the next struggle is against new colonialism. And exactly is the new colonial economic order that we are currently trying to shake off. And so the challenge that us leaders of Africa today face is not the liberation struggle that was fought by Kwame Nkrumah and our forebears. It is the economic struggle to create economic independence, economic advancement for our people, be able to send our children to school, give them the opportunities they deserve, create jobs for them, make life better in our countries so that our children are not crossing the desert and dying in the Mediterranean and all that. So that struggle for us is no longer the liberation struggle, it's the struggle for economic emancipation.
Radio Money now Baatan, Mothers 102.7 FM.
Yera John Dramani Mahama ena yete ninken.
Asemu. Mamentwa kasebo yiso memfa ema wo edia eniche bi ena krata efri eye onimonyamfo abansoma na Kingsford Backbene ho ebaye wono ene mahyebriyam twame hene ne nsem watebri ewo enkrata ne so dedi etrese enkenede ya osana abosome no ne de to so aduonu ennan mahyebriyam fiefo kwa asetena kiehu ye de ebre yi de enka wo mko ma homigye mu nanso wo kira wonom sa mehia na omonto ato adwene emfa ne ma ba ko mienu bia eda wonom apono eso me bi kra etrese o ebetumi atwen de entina sisi aye koye gi ahomeni ade so nei na nka etwase wo motumi kohia na ye wo hwa wotwen ye mu a ewia bo premo ato abesin company fo yi ntina se na no nsem trefo ye bo pini aye ade hye bi ne wo motwetwe nkomo mu baako enso eye onimonyamfo Jerry Ahmed ya wopie mu a wodi ne nkwe kese pa ewo eye wejagbawe ha abaso pesua no eso no kroya ena wopie mu ewo oman Ghana ye mra hyebedwafi a oye deputy minority whip ewo ho no wo cheche mu se o enya ne bo apayo na emom no na dodo na enso so ewo akwantuo mu wo mu mpesu ahodo no eso a wo mu edi dwuma ewo honom ehyehyia mpanimfu akabie wom ewo honom ti akwakoba ne sa akwantuo mu na wo mu nam so eba enu ti ena nhyemude binom achepayi.
Oh, we are just about to start. What we usually do is to engage more on issues before we go into the chamber. So we first had the business committee meeting, and there have been few agreements and non-agreements or disagreements, and therefore there was a need to have some more engagements, and we're about to have conclave and then go into the chamber. So yes, it's sometimes bound to happen. Oh no, I think it has been largely because it's a recall. Most people have traveled and they had to come back from their constituents, and so being the first day, you usually not get people coming in like that. So I think they're also expecting numbers, and that is also one of the reasons we may have not started, but largely because we had a business committee meeting.
Na enuachi ana onimonyamfo Solomon Owusu ya wononso okura di brekase ewo UP amanyoko no emu ononso ne nsem ode baaye ene sense bebre na mountain so efa yera samejamfi ene onimonyamfo afenwoma ken wonoma ntemu a womo ebiebie ki ahodo epie ba mountain so ebi eye ba kwa ye kan ye edefa eye edom kuma ba no dani onimonyamfo afenwoma ken ho edefa eye sikahwehwede de ebi efa ne nsase bra odi eye di brekase ewo ECG jumakonim achebi na chese hu sikasem eni nsem bebre ena epiemu ewo emonten eso na onimonyamfo Solomon Owusu etrampanimfo enhwe na omani enkosa ensem bisa ne ho esanse obekom no na efa baabi no eye asem a emu odrubi ehye honom.
Very important that Parliament takes what is the allegation against the minority leader very serious. Remember, May of this year, one of the MPs, Ohene Kwame, of Asante Achebe, the South or Central, was busted in the Netherlands on allegations of some romance scam, if your memory will serve you right. That in itself brought a huge integrity issue to the Parliament of Ghana that they've not been able to, as it were, recover from it. And so if there is also another allegation concerning a minority leader that he engages in extortion, that must occupy their minds. I mean, it didn't need individuals to rather even call for investigation. Parliament itself as an institution by now should have issued a statement calling for a thorough investigation into the matter. Because, I mean, any baggage that Afenyo carries, if it is proven that indeed he engaged in the extortion, would ultimately affect Parliament. And that is also not to say that at this point we believe that Afenyo has actually engaged in it, but we believe Parliament should have been an institution calling for a thorough investigation into this matter so that it can continuously establish the integrity of the institution that they so cherish.
Mothers FM 102.7.
Any a onimonyan for Solomon Osu.
Yafa kasiabon enko abonefusemu so for share yefisem so ye honorable Muntaka Mubarak na wa friends mtrofo nhemu na due atreche adwuma wodo aban no edi ede kwatia ndobone ne ton ne nom ene won a wodi sika ehyemu no eso na ode atodwa atrese imprempren no inipa bi a wode wo ho ahye ndobone ni dwadie ne mu no sika omanya ne japade ahodo amde akoye no aban ensa eda so aban saka senya pade ne bese eduoson miensa ihwehwemu eguswa ekoso dendendin every January 2025 early base July 2026 no omonsaka 23 assets and as a properties a ni nyina no kwan omofa so nya senya pade no enam enubone ehudwedie.
73 tinted assets were recovered. When we talk about tinted assets, people, our campaign is not just to the users, but those who are bringing it. And then we'll go down using intelligence-led to make sure that when we get them, we seize their assets or we tint the asset, freezing it while the prosecution is going on. And imagine in just about 20 months, we had about 73 tinted assets has been recovered with about 19 kilogram of gold seized in suspected drug money laundering cases. Cash that have been associated with these persons involved in these drugs, about 6.9 million, and then about 440,000 US dollars cash that have been restrained.
Honorable Muntaka Mubarak ena yatene kano enwechi ena wo kire mu se enubone a omase no wo memu esombo be 6.9 million Ghana cedis ena afi so sika wodo a omo aye cheche omo so mudi no bone hu dwa no munye free omo nsem no $440,000 enye sikawa wen mu nyina etimi aboa ma sese omo krade ba no omataban no yebubu no.
Major challenge that confronts us continue to be the illicit drug fight. And in a very special way, I must thank the Director General of Narcotics Control Commission and his team for the bold and decisive way of fighting this menace. Together, they do it in collaboration with the police and all the other state agencies. 217 arrests were made and 165 prosecutions initiated over the period. Over 8,500 kilograms of narcotics drug were seized, and also about 45.4 million tramadol tablets. One of the biggest challenges that we now have is the youth using the synthetic drugs, and narcotics control has intensified its effort. And imagine, in less than 2 years, over 45 million tablets of tramadol was seized, was intercepted. 73 tinted assets were recovered.
Honorable Muntaka Mubarak ni yatene kan swafo a ohwe yefisem eso enwachi eno se abonfosem na ewudie bi ekoso ewo abato brimo no enya ade aban yi nani efiri oni titiriu de ekoso 2019 ayawa so west wagon by election no aban ni de ekire 2020 Techiman South nani de ekire 2024 ho ye sore ye wakasoa ema okra ba akofa mu ehwere ne nkwan ni nyina no aban no ene de ekire ye papa na 2019 ayawa so de no gaman bi a ye frɛ no Ernest Akomia aka double aban pen din akire no.
covert operation to identify person who shot and killed the deceased, Samira Zakaria, and injured 3 others. Ayawasu West Wiggle, that's Laobawenshi. A key suspect identified by police investigation, Ernest Akomia alias Double, is still at large, and intensive operational steps are underway to apprehend and prosecute him. Tachiman South, that's Tachiman. The former written autopsy report in respect of the deceased Mohammed Tajuddin Al-Hassan and Abdullah Ayarik have been obtained from the medical officer who conducted the autopsy. A duplicate docket is being prepared to be forwarded to the Attorney General Office for study and advice. The trial of the 3 accused persons is ongoing before the High Court 1, Accra. The next court date is October 12, 2026. Awutu Senya East constituency, that's Kaswa. Member of Parliament Honorable Phyllis Na Koyo Akono and her sister Gifty Akono have submitted their written statement to the Special Investigation Task Force. Investigative effort to locate Mustafa Mohammed, the driver in charge of the Black Hawk Mahindra pickup on which the deceased victim, Idris Larry Yusuf, was shot, are still ongoing.
Yes, Abo! Mothers FM!
Efisem Swafo Honorable Muntaka Mubarak na Yetinin King.
Yadi ani betremo ewo NPP osono kese amanyokuo no emo yenyina da yenim se enche bia ena mantama bato no koso ma wo mutumi toto aba eyi executives ahodo obi kan asem se skefi ene ade a wo monso so eguso a ebomoden ebo ejuma wajewajere edetai eye amanyokuo no achi sisi ade aka eda wo no manimo eye mpanimfo national ya wo monso so ebedi amanyokuo yenim na imfimpino ene aduwotwe abato ebeto no man konkro Ghana emu no omatumi apema koso akofa enkunim abotire no na olimonyamfo Justin Kodua Frempon no na ye churchfo pani edema amanyoko NPP ono kro ya wo pribiti se ye nsanso nto aba emfa enyino dibre enkura ne pe ye na adwuma pa wa hyase dada no wode akọ awiye pa e wo sa kwan no eso ene wona ma probo kwan so a se nomination file ne no nso guso aya aba na awiye ya enesa ye ono nso ekura ne mudie emu wode ne kyeremo e wo meamia ahodo bebre kuma so koye no so edom no kra ekura ne mu se etwe ohwe eye dodo a ewo ha na obi ya ka sempa e de fa ne ho ejina na chi na no nim se kwa e na okọ enkunimdie kwan eso wo se okura ni so de hunu kese nti ade hyemo a na muntima ba no emfa emma no bra abatomre no ebedu so no munyina ka bom amankunim aba NPP4 afa.
And I assure you that as the man who has led the reorganization of our party through ensuring a successful polling station elections, a successful electoral area elections, a successful constituency elections, and a successful regional elections. All of you attest to that we have organized one of the most peaceful and successful internal elections the party has ever had. Indeed, as I speak to you today, the spirit is back. The new patriotic spirit is back. The only thing left is for us to come 3rd of October to elect executives who will work to make sure that His Excellency Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia becomes the President of Ghana in 2028. And I can assure you that indeed you have a General Secretary who works comfortably with the flag bearer. You have a General Secretary who has a good working relationship with the office of the flag bearer. In order for us to continue to ensure that cordiality, there is the non-negotiable need for us to maintain the General Secretary of our party.
Enuachi ena onimonyamfo Clement Opoku Jemfi adodo na ama na hotedin se kwa mpoku CID ono so prepa se yebeto aba no ayi no se National Youth Organizer se ne yebeya ono so betumi aboa na famudie na enkunim aba amanyokonim na okọ file ne nomination okọ nso se no enipa cho enedi na chi ekokota na chi mu baako eye radio personality ship dealer ya yenyina yenim ne ho sresresre o so ne woska chese wiase nyina nya no kra wono ena ekugina na chibi ema wo mo ekoye wo se yento aba no enso emfa emma odimanyamfo kwampoku CID.
Majority of the parties who have resolved to ensure that I become the next leader. Fully support. actually want to deliver upon the point. I wouldn't waste much of your time. You could see the atmosphere is sad. The young guys are down there. They're going to shake their head of it. As part of the processes leading to October 10. That is for the party's activities. Now, I see this beyond October 10. I see the processes leading to Dr. Baldia becoming the president of this country, and we winning majority of the seats. There's a way out. I have the plan. I've applied it. It has worked, and I'm going to apply it.
It will work again. Ne krakra mu no ena onimonyamfo Evans ni makono ena ya director of elections e wo NBP amenyokonim ena wo kyerese enipa polepole be se aduonum ena ababefa eye form suni bia omunyina predibre amaya to aba no ede ayi wo mu bia de wo sre ene se nkabombedi hini e wo mu ntem wo se mra bia da abato ne ho bia obi anhwe na onni so se ne be ya oye ne bia enkobetwe.
The number indicated is correct. At the close of nomination today, a total of 50 prospective willing individuals have picked nomination forms to contest for various positions. The committee is pleased with the conduct of all key stakeholders, i.e. those who have had the courage to purchase nomination forms. We are still urging them to comply with the guidelines, the rules of the game, so that at the end of the exercise, you have a united new patriotic party to support our presidential candidate, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, go into the 2028 presidential elections and win handsomely. So this is the objective of the party. We are coming from a background where we've done the various levels of electing leadership, i.e. polling station, electoral area, constituency, and this last weekend we've been done with the regional officers elections. What we are left with is the national, and as you are aware, the date for the conference is 3rd of October. It's going to be in Ashanti region, specifically Kumasi.
Mothers FM, yes, some pa.
Onimonyamfo Evans ni makone ne ena yekokotie.
Yafa kasiabono enko gold board ena fe Bank of Ghana ensensemo a free na wotwe no etwemrede bani nyina. Ye tutu ne srani abasa ne yetete wiye kakrakra. Se bomofo namo a eho apaso. Enimsam dada se IMF ye hwehwemu ema ne bede dwa se Bank of Ghana abaka $1.7 billion ni nyina no efa domestic gold purchase program no eho na eho sobo ne akekere ne so otwehunwi ene yede to ewra sameje mfi oda gold board na no so sameje mfi said that sa kan nya ne kan fa koma Bank of Ghana eho kro na bedie ne ho press conference ne ho atem didie wenim sem asem yi ho ena old tafo na shebedwani honorable Vincent Ekowasefua a osanye economic committee of parliament no so member oni ne mpanyufo ewo minority no atro krata de akoma speaker of parliament say speaker wadaroma ye bia school yi sansem no almost rapa say speaker anti committee bi hihye na sa $1.7 billion na ayira ayeka no wo mo hwehwem
teaches the minority as to how we should go about its work. The tools that is available to Parliament is well placed within our hands to use any of the tools that we so deem fit to use. If somebody wants to use the Public Accounts Committee, the person can go ahead to do so. But can the person also tell us that based on Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution and Order 204, 212, 213, 262, and 263, the minority is not well placed to come by way of a motion? If the person is not able to dispute that, then forget about that. We will not go to the convenience or the arena of convenience for the person. We are saying that it is an ad hoc motion, an ad hoc committee that is going to help the minority to be able to unravel the circumstances to which this loss came by. And so that is our strategy. We will not bend the rules or we will not bend our strategy for anybody's convenience. It is our contention that the motion that Parliament, that is the minority, has sent to the Speaker of Parliament for the Speaker of Parliament to consider within this week is something that is much more important, because as per Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution, which allows Parliament to be able to set up a committee to investigate and inquire into if you like issues that borders on ministries, agencies and departments. And of course our orders is also well placed. That is order 212, 204, 213, 262 and 263 allows Parliament to establish an ad hoc committee.
Honorable Vincent Ekwasifua Otafo Mrashebedweni na yeten nkano. Na sam komodie ho na Dr. James Kwabena Bonfe. Oya manyoni science kasemu nimdifo eno se IMF fo kan semu a yentie ni mienu de kire se obroni nyaaya de bia no atoja to bibifo mu na ye kona keka o se na anu aga na ye ho kire ye se ye kwa mefa kopa bisi ahe no momaye enye 3 billion gold board buy afintem ye nya more than 3 billion enti IMF nsam no moma ye hwe ne kan ye na mom no se hwehwe mu se okay ye den na kan buy ya fine na moma ye nkogina IMF report ne so ema hoye ema man ni mu.
Still, another neo-colonialist trap on the economic front has come to be known as multilateral aid through international organizations, the International Monetary Fund, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, known as the World Bank, all significantly having U.S. capital as their major backer. These agencies have the habit of forcing would-be borrowers to submit to various offensive conditions. Now, here is my point. How much money did we borrow from IMF the last time? For a period of 3 years, 2023 to 2026. How much was it? $3 billion. Not so. Now, what is the record? When Gold Board started operating within 1 year, they have raised in excess of that 3 billion. Are you following? Then we have got the what do you call it? The University of Ghana professors say that it is a benefit to cost ratio of 18.1. That 3.8 billion brought in influx. That whether you like it or not, the facts remain. Our currency has been stabilized and made stronger against the major currencies. So when that institution is suffering attack from this global entity IMF with American hand in it, my friends, they are my friends. You see, you have got to be very careful when you are talking about it, especially when these so-called losses are not new. They are not novel. So I would have been interested. And that's why I'm happy that the minority that is focusing there.
Dr. James Kwabena Bonfe ena yate nenkano. Na Professor Godfred Bokpin. Odena no atumi bi se gold board ayade na mmom yenko gina wo se na gold board Mexican gina yento pada na yento kenke party win nam chepe adan ya se CD ne gina na national dollar no entime nya na hwe no so gold ya ke ye Ekoba se bi ochine bibi esi wa mansendwa so na gold board no ati hu be 40%. Muni meka aba ene ka sidi na be tan keke.
Look, if gold price today should dip by more than 40%, this macroeconomic stability we talk about will only exist in the textbook. What kind of gain is that? When it's so exposed to price shock, global gold price shock, what kind of gain is that? Everything could just go in within 6 to 8 months of that price shock. And remember, let's go back to history. Literally every 10 years, prices of commodities correct from a bust, from a boom. They correct almost every 10 years. Okay, so the stability we are talking about, the gains that we are talking about here, is not durable. Look, if you do sensitivity analysis, if you do stress testing, and you say that if gold price should dip by 40% today, where would we be? You will see that we'll be so exposed. Even the Middle East crisis, the Governor of Bank of Ghana is telling us that our reserves is stressed. Okay, and all of that. So I think we need to be mindful. As a country, we should adopt a value chain approach. Let's account for the environmental subsidy, ecological integrity we have destroyed. If you put all of these things together, okay, through the analysis, and you're able to say that we are far better off, then that's good news.
Professor Godfred Bokpin na yete nkano oesika semunim de for Chadie University of Ghana. Na Dr. Edu Owusu Sakwadie onu she senior lecturer at University of Ghana where be and was say sa domestic gold purchasing program na abane de buy no omaya ade pa na ehun adodode ne ehun semmo ene ehun momome ni nyina no yemfa mo aban dada no Dr. Mahmoud Bamia edi enim hweye ma bibia kwa so kama no omaya de ye kwenim na yenhwe na yentoto ho ne yema yi.
The design of the program is very generous. It has too many giveaways, premium, discounts, of course, fees and charges could be lower. And then the exchange rate differential, the spread is very wide between BOG rates and Forex Bureau. If the spread is lower, it will minimize the cost. And I heard somebody say it's about 800 million. So if the spread is lower, it will minimize. So because there are so many giveaways in the design of it, the loss was expected, but it could have been going forward. We should make sure that we get a lower loss or cost of transaction for that. But I can understand the reason for the many giveaways in the design. First, we must commend the originators of the domestic gold purchase program because this idea has brought so many benefits to us as a country.
Mothers FM, yes, some pa. Mothers FM, yes, some pa.
Dr. Edu Osusa Akwadena Yatini King.
Ewosia nchebia ya be home kase boyi eso na nso ma menkan fo kelele clothing mefa emao edia kelele for epamade sonkon ewo wonu maka che kelele for eton entuemu assault bia de wo hwehwe bia won sabeka ewo kelele clothing wadama ope eye afade biara edia kodwumade bia se wo wade se ye ponto se wudi wa woda se obi eye bibi na wato ne nsa fro se fo ani manyam beta akire wo kono wadama onko saa keke wo se kwa wafade etumi ekasa ede ema wo nti wo pe entuma bia na fabrics bia onsa ebeka bi ewo kelele clothing e bi enso so Indian lace ewo ho brocades ewo ho suiting fabrics ewo ho na Italian cashmere ewo ho Swiss fabrics ewo ho denim ewo ho African print and afa within print nyina onsa beka bi ewo kelele clothing afa enso so setasi bia na design bia wo pe ewo wiase afa na ba bia ya enei enene ma for meba ni mu mere bia edwudwi ni bia wahu bia no wo be screenshot e wo phone so wada ma onya bi oba bia se kelele clothing se ope eye kaftan ema ene merima de nyinada ope kose dresses kente outfit ayede and Thomas Yesie na kama won sabeka bi ewo ho agbada ema ne merima de nyina wodwudwi bi ewo na kachibubu dresses enso ewo ho kaba ene slits enene ma force yi bi won betumi apam ede amount digital embroidery creations and so on more obetumi aye ede ama wo suit kaftans and afa political suits and so kelele ebeye bi ede ama wo metra kwan ewo North Kaneshi the mod bus stop on mo pepepe na number no ya obetumi apusu 0541 849-257 and I say 0268 866-697. Kelele clothing na wajemese say elevate your star with us today all the way. Eja.
Sanso ena Mares TV riskan no eguswa koso wadaroma frequency a obe yuso no 12303 sample rate no 27500 polarization no horizontal position 26 east Arab Sat BADR8 na wenya Mares TV mother of all media na yedem na ohwenti installers ne ba no akirechero mu ombe ye bibia amanaye kama na Mares TV nso wasan enya yen ahwebiem radio ne de wani twia yedem clear yen twa homra ye ba ensem no ye beto aso
Adishmaima KASE3 Ghana Limited ye jumakuo bia ye si dan ton dan eton sase krujia mansubia ni ho woto yen sase bia ebeya wo dia forever and ever wabusia da chinti enunti KASE3 say tia 10% pe na fa hyasie wo si dan no na wo tia ne kakra KASE3 nkwane won sase wo the whole Ghana ye won sase bi wo Greater Accra baby to say Atoman Kofi Donko Mampehia Danjra Kaswa Obom Dodowa Kofi Kwe Ayite Kote Weja Broadcaster Ani Bebre Sayako Central Region in Sua Cape Coast Ayensudo J Krodia Portin Gomwa Kwe Krum Yankwa Eastern Region Ensawam Kwasinyako Afram Krum Afayentufa Na Yanko Northern Region You will be Watamale Nyampala Ensasuno Bay UDS Campus Watamale Kumase Kwanso Yesansu wa Executive expensive ones o. Deɛ da kurom pɛɛ. Na wosan so pɛ asase yantam ɛde ayɛ kua anefu a yɛwɔ bi wɔ the whole Ghana. Ɛno nti hwehwɛ yɛ kyerɛ kwan. Ɛwɔ the main office Accra, Tesano, yɛne Ghana Telecom University and our police training school ɛne di nhwɛnimu. Wɔka so amalam kwantempɔn no so. Amanfrom yɛne resurrection asɔre ne di nhwɛnimu. Na yɛkɔ Amasaman so a opposite the Central Mosque. Wɔ Amasaman hɔ a ɔbaa krowa office no ɛwɔ site hɔ pɛɛ. Afei Ashaiman yɛne lorry station no ɛne di nhwɛnimu. Frɛ yɛn 0302 963740. Ebiem 0302 963740. KASE Estate Ghana Limited. Yenti usubetimi asidai.
Esan say, Yawa fabrics are so too nyine biwaha. African print, kelele clothing dear. Yesan so pam the show, come on. Ye pam a mane mema kaftan, corset, agbada, a mane mema dienina. Embroidery, bubu, silk kaftan, political suits nina. Ye pem biwaha. Ye chakwain ewa North Kaneshi Demod bus stop. And now dear friend, ewa 0541 849 257 and now 0268 866 697. Aha, kelele clothing. Me mama kwaba. Yeni etimima wa ho fedanso. Ewa wonta de shemu. Esan say, yawa fabrics are so too nyine bi wa ha. African print. Kelele clothing dear. Yesan so pam the show. Come on. Ye pam me mane mema kaftan. Corset, agbada, emane mema dienina. Embroidery, bubu, silk kaftan, political suits nina. Ye pem biwaha. Ye chakwain ewa North Kaneshi Demod bus stop. And now dear friend, ewa 0541 849 257 and now 0268 866 697.
And now woman to me abua ama a year KG2 block womo epeja B a day SC a year baby a fro se goripe na e honom no e yade se e wo etifia toya mantam no emu eni chebi afia hyasia be se ogefo bosumini mu na womo mpanimfo ene semtwefo di nkomo eche se womo kwa hohiahia mu pa e wo eyesuku a e wo honom adesuafo tenadua se ebinom so kro omunya eye classroom ni bi no omote form enkonya enso enim afi nkrata ne ade de besua de nyina ho akwatwe abowon sene sebe jonso aboa akoko ene nso mo toto stress mpanimfo emra wo mo nsra bam na fei ena atadwe wo mate den ne abrewa yi pomakwa mu ama mpanimfo atumi aboa ma wo mo etientia wo nsase kakrakra wo peja KG2 block ni bi ede esi ho enso so ede ama wo mo na eye DC ya wo wa east honom eye onimanyamfo Adamu Shaibu wano na ochirechire mu hia se enwomasua ha wo mutumi so anontem na tumi aboa adesua enkoso.
We are all aware that the foundation of education starts from the basic level. So once we're able to get the basic level right, then the subsequent levels also go the way that we want it to go. So that's why we are putting priority on the KG block. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this KG block will be completed in 6 months. When once that is done, then we are coming in with furniture. These are specialized furniture for only KG children, where they can sit in a circular form while learning can take place.
Enuachi ena onimonyamfo Suleiman Mohammed Awa wono ena oye assembly member ewo goripe ena ono nso etrese womo asomo ewo eye akomapa emomani aso enyama ekoso ebetumi aboa ama womo mofra no etumi esuade ye.
Previously, we were at a 3-unit classroom, the old block. So they were there and the structure was not looking good. So the MP and then the DC is taking steps to come and build a new one for the children. So we are happy that this structure is erecting up. So I will stand on behalf of the community to thank DC, the Honorable DC, and then the MP for Y East for their good job done.
Afeti me mufo wonom ewo goripe ehonom no musie we die yeni aso papa isanse ye de mofe ekosuku a efom ena wo motete na eye aboatea wo fro wo mo na ebi ntete awibi na mo ekeka wo mo ne ade na so sisi ayi de mpanifo aboa peje bi esi ho de na chese emu nkonya nso wo mo eye de ama wo mo a we nyina yade a eye enkoso pa edema awofo a ewo ho
Tibi ni tibada dire doge anan karbona yala tara he kono wata a school imanye bambi tengen ad ka ba bon hoja adere to changa yante ingama yan banwa na banna wo maliji so akuti ka bi manwa away ni fine alele ugadeu ka te bon na kula banda dere
ai dermine ampara to koyen aku empinin disi kala bada sonta ana tibibili kare dewo yantara ha ntia kenan kanye to kuorni aye to na apti so wawana aje ko atuma ko bawotun akutika adihi ewala otwon akaran anun dew bi blejun na kuhe disi barka aku empimin barka anan kugun ondo kutini ta ina maya yaga ja mana malam ka hafanga banna tuwan
Mothers FM yes sompa
na kasa muti ye mu amonti ase nyina no eye awofo bi omo wo ho ne timemofo bi omo wo ho na wo mo ekire aniso e de amampanimfo ewo enwomasuam mpuntu a wo mo de abedom wo mo na yese timemofo omo ogoripi omo ne ene yekokutie
ya fa kase bono enkobo no mantam no enko pie modoma central mensire no emu na ye ko kiremesu kwame esua ekwantimpon so adehia ewo ho echese kwan no atete ache emu potholes enye asemketwa kungbre sa ade chien adesan ekoba ne sa obedu fie na honam nyina ayo ye no mesu aka ho asem a akoye bo achibidi na prempren de ometu omhofo se sa kiremahia kwame esua kwan no aban no amepa nhwe anya amomode a omo anim kwam de aban no befa so kasa ba ko pe na aban ne te eno ni demonstration mo de bet chipa
yakwa na tutu onye kwara anti yesra besebe mra meye maye onye sa abaye nto aba
kwande onye kwara yemese kana kwara yebre ya ye mutufu kwara no yebre na sen kwara memi ko kwara no o ka ketibi yemene me yire yi ana nsu toye ne menim se kwano ma faso no ese adia sentimi hu kwane yi yamene gi me ka papamba kwane die info ba mwe kwane die nya kura afria kwa mashua atukire masu oboa
adehia tete kwantimpon afri kiremesu eko kwa meshia na yete won kana hyenkafo anam sa kwan ne so ensim bia wakan yenie
yo how can say because they say yeto koba na say yeto bobiantia na say ono kura ni emergency kura say mo ka sembe fire na phone ko bi say do ma na say brekuma ye nurunu na condition aye kese bu kura no bu kura otimu wo ka ni na say bia em fa pemfo kura still na the same problem 90 slow aban o hwe na o maboa ni o ye kwan ma nya say ye bre pa
say ye kwan ni de nya ese wa hwe kwan ye nzu ato ayi ya wo be hu bi ese bia ye ne ka ohu bi ti mo so mo kwa na mo nya bia kan man se o mo hwe na o mo nya man so mo me ye kora do mo mpia we ni kora video na nya no ma kwa na no ti se first na net ye na ye breva nya driver free da bia ye ko ban bati se da yesi bre kwa na so no anu edene ko ta na kora ye wo so da na kora ye wo no se ko mu bi free no kora man na kwa na be ye no ma kora ke ma ya bi se ko no be ya chene sa no
eni a etwegu ye eye ahyenkafo a enam kwamesua kwantimpon no eso na owura Emmanuel Opon mebunu ewo kwamesua no ono na wonkabomkuo no oye wonkasamafo ni nsembia odi atudwani
as you can see when you are coming you saw the deplorable state of the road kwamesua shares boundary with our region when you go to Biaso we share boundaries. So our road start from Biaso, Gambia number 2. Gambia number 2 to Tremasu. In fact, the nature of the road is not encouraging. Like it's not a befitting rule which we should be using. So I can't remember about 10 years ago they gave the role to a contractor to work on it. But after a change of government or after the elections now, the contractor left the site, obviously leading to a bad state of the road. So we humbly appeal to the government to come to our aid under the big push agenda. We humbly appeal to the people of Kwamesia are really suffering a lot. Even not Kwamesia alone, when you go to Amasu, Chiramasu, Subin Chrome, Tronai, Biaso, the nature of the road is not encouraging. So we humbly appeal to the government to come to our aid and support us. If even the next budget, if the government could help us under the big push agenda and complete it for us, we'll be happy enough as residents of Kwamesia.
Radio Munina Baatan, Mothers 102.7 FM.
Kasama for Emma Kwamesia Youth Association no Emmanuel Opona yetini king.
Yebekwa kopie mu ewo Asante Mantam ne nekropon Kumasi emo ede ho na Ejoso Senior High Technical School enso ewo na sukuyi ede emfinhia no aduasan enum wo mu ehye eye afeda no enso na bra wo mu edi na dwumadie no ekoso no ase na eye headmistress awada wo no ma no ma mi Grace asemani echechemu se sukuyi guso a ya wo mu ebo adwuma wadwadwe nwomasuan kwaso ya wo mu tete asuafo da ne da enyina nanso no emprempre ya wo kasai dia hochire bebre no ana wo mo FM ewo ehonom baby o mo betena boys dormitory ni baby agechefo beda ede wo nti beto krom benya asumde atumi ayi o mo yam akire eye adusuafo ade no eho akwa atwe pa ede ama wo mo nti mo ebesre ewo mu sempanimfo na ahyase o mo ye 1 or 2 bi ewo ho nanso no wo besre se pinu aba beka ho na wo mo dwumadie awie peye.
We are grateful to get fund for the commencement of a one-story boys' dormitory project, which is at the substructure stage. Nanache, the school still needs a girls' dormitory, an 18-unit classroom block, an assembly hall to go off the double-track system. The school has only 2 standard bungalows, one for the assistant head academics and the other for the senior house mistress. The bungalow meant for the headmistress is used as a storage facility to store food items.
Nana Boachi ansan ya wotoso mienu ena eye ohene popro ya owo bomai ono so ede nanimonyam ekotai eye adwumadie no achi afei wosanso bo aban na baso ewo free SHS ntoto ya wode ama wo mo eno so danche ya get fun emo a ekode ama maso masen ewo niam ba ku mienu bi eho no srei se ebi emrebi.
Let's say one head does not make a council. No. SecTech is standing today because many hands have held it together. One, we thank the government and the education service for providing teachers and for supporting the school through policies like free SHS and get fund projects. We, however, appeal for more support, especially to retool our technical workshops, science laboratories, and to complete our dormitory blocks. To Nanano and the good people of Joso, we thank you very much.
Ora Paul J NIA administrator Edema Ghana Education Trust Fund no was say ononso so no echemu aban no eyade se wode enyama egu akwamo etumi aboa nto asosuku ahodo enkankan ene ba sahodo a ebedi akoba ede ama wo mo enu nti no wo mo behwe na ha wo mabobo so nyina no mpanifo ahwa ye bibi kakra ede afa ho.
Let me briefly highlight some of what government is doing to get fund. First, government is in the process of procuring 266 buses for senior high school. And I want to put it on record that as soon as the buses are delivered, I'll make sure this will get sold. As you are aware, transport is important to the effective running of our schools. whether it is for academic programs, sporting facilities, educational trips, or other essential school activities.
Mothers FM 102.7.
Eni ekokotie ye eye onimonyam for Paul Eje ye administrator Edema Get Fund epono.
Na yafa kasebo no kopie mu e voter region na yenko hohwe mensire no emwe. Ehwo na gbi Akpeota Health Center ewo na imprempre kohwese ne a bi Akpeota Health Center no akoye na no kwasem ni enye kra bebi a omode ade hye beto no akwakoye boachi bidin enti sese o yare sese na edo ko nipa mienu penetimi ade meti omo ho enti akoya miensa de awuti ate na agi ama transfer ni nyina akobie se ehwa na ye kete enti bebi omo keep records bebi omo ye lab ni nyina akoye ho baako na omudi mu ade na ade na sa Mame Augustina Wosui oye midwife ewo ho no ka se hospital ne de na sisi ne bu adwuma na komu tire mu moma nkomu adwuma nso ebekopa.
This is where when the client comes, this is the opening. We take the person's vitals, we do records, we give the folder, and the client goes to see the prescriber. So when the client comes back, then we give the drugs here, do the calculations, and issue receipts here. If there is any lab that the client is supposed to do, then we do the labs here. So virtually everything is done in this. Ideally, the records is supposed to be in a different room. Lab should be different. The pharmacy should be different, and the accounts unit should be different.
Ani atwagu ya Mame Augustina Wosoyi na enwechi no na in charge your facility ho Naomi Arigbeku enso ekawe.
Accommodation for staffs, especially the maternity unit, that they will have to be called in the middle of the night to come and do deliveries. Some of them, they are living very far from the facility. And then if there is an accommodation here, I think it will really help so that our mothers will have safe delivery on time. Another problem we also have is logistics to work with. We don't have enough health logistics, and then we don't have water flowing 24/7 for us to be able to do the infection prevention that we want. Enough space to admit patients. Even the space we have for detaining, it can only detain 2 clients at a time. So we need more rooms so that we can be able to create more consultants.
Ne krakra mono na hwohwem na shebedwani Honorable Thomas Wolanyo Chekbu di atudwa se aban no ate na namo bia woso mutu fa hono omobetu na health center no ejina ne nan so.
So we look at the health infrastructure business. If I'm taking over as MP, I realize that we are nowhere near any constituency in the region. Our health centers are well in the infrastructure. We've taken notice of some of them, like Weta, Alabanyo, Zombo, where we will transform polyclinic and other centers. Weta, for instance, we have just one or two next year, and most of our health infrastructure will be improved.
Yes, I'm Mothers FM.
Ani atwagu ye hwohwem na shebedwani Honorable Thomas Wolanyo Chekbu.
Yaba sorry kasebo iso ewo enigede kasebo enso emoya mame ohema mercy ya de se oto nyamenyum ibi ene chese oto nyum ya ema yetumi borura honhom wiasese apie utumi hu se awosen kora nyina ebegu na okopie mu asemtrofo enim ema nkomobo bi etumi koso mo bisae se ye mame yetu ani edehwe eye gospel industry ni mo a entawantawa kakra kratwen kakra otine wantwi ewo mu nti ama nkoso ama wo mu ntamu no odo bia enhyeda enim eyesa na chese utumi hu se tumi dadi ema bibia eye pefem obi etumi hu bi na ye mame ohema mesika se ono de onya oni obi ani ansem obi anso ni nya asem jono prograde ensema amanfo keke o monten so se enyom to dwumakuo ni mu no kratwen ani bre ewo mu ni ade no ankasa pa de onim bibisa da efise obo edi remu.
Baby, I've been some over, but me, I've not heard it. I've not experienced it, so I cannot talk about it. Mother, to me, stop me. No, you can't. Because I'm not alone. Host of heaven is with me. I believe what I carry. So you can't stop me. Oh, I've done a lot of collaborations. I've done one with Lady Prempe. Yes. I've done one with Emoji. Is there. I've done one with Shasha Mali. I've done one with this great lecturer in Legon. Mr. Crunchy. Yes. Oh, it does. I can never release a song without praying because I need the hand of God to move with it. Me, Uda, for instance, somebody will be at the hospital listening to the song alone. Now, there's something about it. But the hand of God, I've invoked the power of God to back it. I've invoked the hand of God to move with it. You cannot just release a song just like that. It is a focus seeking for God.
Yes, I'm Mothers FM.
Any ekokotie ye mami ohima mercy ena ocheche muna just say or the tahila experience no so afidie no ehhehye so na wo chese obi ye ne de wo industry nim ti otan bia nim obi animre obi odi eduru so a ya beja wo ye ne kama nti ne de ne so sa pepepe ena wo de eto so ene je de akase boyi eso ena ye begina na ye de kase Baatan ensem ketwa bi na nso de se anomanam no ye de esi ye beda wase ama wo enitie enisha wajawahenewa ebusia yes sorry so na DJ Flex at the bumper to bumper enyompa ajotata yes sorry so biom so dia na aseda no enko emfa emma ye producers ye Jeremiah ene kotoka omoboye chidom pa eye tena enene masanso ena amreku efo ganyo ne na pamfo enso so edom eboaye apesmaka fo no na ye memotofa bohema abena fo ko ye bo amene
Ejamin tayadamasi